blessed. Ladies and gentlemen, if there's one thing I'm blessed with, is logic. I'm like the Mr. Spock when coming to logic. So let's deal with this school shooting. So, I'm not one of those to believe that banning guns will solve this issue only. I think we need to have common sense gun legislation coupled with common sense citizenship as far as like social type networks to alleviate the suffering of regular folks. Look at the prices of insurance and all the rest of stuff. We are creating a society that's becoming mentally ill through depression. It doesn't matter how hard somebody tries, they can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. And if they see one, it might be a train. So we have to alleviate the suffering in society. People are giving up. Common sense legislation could help that. These same people who are getting their children killed are voting against common sense legislation, like Georgia doesn't have any red flag laws. This guy, the cops knocked on his house. Nothing could be done because Georgia has no enforcement in that disregard. These deaths could have been avoided. But the root cause of these deaths, one have to ask, why is it our society is so ill that we would take a weapon and kill innocent people and don't think twice about it? The underpinning of this is the angst in our society. Look at the gas prices, look at the price of milk, look at the price of eggs. So this is not a Republican or Democrat problem. This is a do-nothing Congress problem, okay? They have allowed the lobbyists to run amok in this country. So you ask somebody like J.D. Vance, you want all these babies to be born, but what are you going to do as far as child rearing and daycare and the expenses attached to it? He says to call grandma and grandpa. This is the kind of bullshit that goes on in this country. He never says, okay, let's look at lowering the taxes for middle class. Let's look at that. How about a bigger child tax credit? No, none of that is conducive to what they believe. Call grandma and grandpa. We have a society that is becoming sick and more sick daily. Okay? One of the sicknesses is like what Trump did. He called his Republican cronies and tell them, say, don't make no deals on the border. I don't want Biden to have a win. I want the scenario to remain the same so I could appear to be the hero. That's like Munchausen syndrome. You make the baby sick to give it care, to make yourself feel good. That's Munchausen syndrome. This is the type of things we need to be proactive instead of reactive. The proactive stuff is that we need some kind of universal health care in this country to alleviate the suffering. We need to alleviate the prices we pay at the gas pump. Imagine diesel is $3.40-something a gallon. Diesel, something they used to throw away in the past. Most of our food stuff is transported by diesel trucks or by engines that use diesel. Why is it we allow diesel to be that expensive when this is one of the main modes of transportation of goods? This is something that could be rectified overnight. But we pretending like we are helpless to do anything. They got corporations that are price gouging people for no reason. But we pretend that we cannot do anything. Call grandma and grandpa. That's the solution. Call grandma and grandpa. The next thing the next topic is all these Republicans switching sides. Okay, you guys might see that as a good thing, fine. To me, a Republican would be a Republican. A Republican doesn't necessarily have to be MAGA. These Republicans has nothing to lose by switching sides temporarily to the Democrats. This is what it is, temporarily. They don't necessarily have to like Kamala Harris. They don't have to agree with her policies. But Kamala Harris is Father Damien in this case. Remember the exorcist? So they call in Father Damien to exorcise the demons from the Republican Party. That's all it is. It's a win-win for them. Because if Kamala Harris wins, that means that the demon that's in the Republican Party has to wait 4 more years to run again. And believe it or not, he will run again. He will run from a wheelchair with a gas tank attached to it. And Republicans will support him. So they are trying to exorcise this demon. And as usual, the Democratic Party is getting used to do their dirty work. You see, Trump is a problem to the Republican Party, to the traditional conservative party. He's not a Republican like they tell you. He is MAGA. It's a different entity. So even if they have to support Kamala Harris to cut away this metastasized sore or cancer from the Republican Party, by all means, they will deal with 2 parties in that sense. The MAGA Republicans and the Conservative Party. So don't fool yourself. They don't necessarily like Kamala Harris. They don't necessarily like the Democratic policies. What they are people that want to preserve the party of Lincoln. So the enemy of my enemy is my friend. This is what they're using. Kamala Harris is now Father Damien. The Republican Party, their heads are spinning and they're puking and cursing everywhere. They need Father Damien. They need Kamala Harris to exorcise this demon. That's all it is. It ain't that complicated. When you hear Darth Vader is gonna vote for a Democrat, he knows. Darth Vader knows that his traditional Republican Party is at risk. They already lost part of their souls. So they're calling in Kamala Harris to exercise this demon that is Trump, the demon that is this MAGA concept that is puking all over everything, puking over the Constitution, puking over our freedoms. It's just a whole mess of puke in this MAGA type belief. Kamala Harris, they don't care if Father Damien survives or not. All they care about is if Father Damien could get the job done. They need that devil to be exorcised. Kamala Harris is Father Damien to the traditional Republican Party. That's all it is. Simple logic.